Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In the last live session, the lighting was so scary. I was looking like a white ghost, and this proves that your makeup is not bad, you're not looking bad, it's probably the lighting, so we can fix the lighting. And life is also like that. Maybe the lighting is not correct and you can fix the lighting. Can you guys hear me? Hear me? Please say yes. So I was saying, I'll repeat myself just in case it got missed out, that in my last live session, if you saw it, then that time I was looking like a white ghost. You know why? Because the lighting was very bad. My makeup was not bad, my clothes were not bad, I was not looking bad, but it was the lighting. Same is with life. Everything is fine. You just need to, shift the lighting, or you need to sit in the right place, in the right spot, a spot that enhances you, and only you can know better which spot enhances you and what makes you better, from where the light is falling on you. That will change everything. Now, as you can see in the title of this video, a very important question came up actually, and I think I have been wanting to answer it since a while now. Why does your twin flame why your twin flame does not want to marry you, or why your twin flame wants to marry someone else over you. And this can happen to single people, this can happen to committed people, this can also happen to relationships where a divorce scenario has played out. And I'll explain it to you. I'll explain all of the options step by step. So number one scenario is that you are probably dating someone, and you think this person is your supposed twin flame, and you love this person, you like this person a lot, and you are really happy and you want to be with this person, etc., etc. But whenever you bring up the topic of lifelong commitment or marriage, then this person is always dicey. They're not clear. They never give you an accurate picture. They never tell you that, okay, yes, I do want to do it, and you don't see them making the efforts. I'll go a little back from the screen. So they never give you a clear picture actually about what they want to do with you, but they kind of keep you around. They keep you around. They tell you they like you, they love you, and this and that. But whenever it's about getting settled down, they're never clear. That is number one scenario. You're in a relationship with that person. Then maybe you both are single. This person is also single and you're also single, and they always talk about marriage, and they've had like a very maybe steamy relationship with you in the past, or they've always made you feel like when you're with them, you're on top of the world. They've shared a lot with you, or they've really cared for you, they've pampered you whenever you're around, and you like this person, and they can do a lot of things for you. If you ask them, like, can we do this, can we do that, they usually won't say no, unless it's like a lot of important stuff, or something genuine. They'll probably be okay with it. Maybe this person is a nice person, genuinely they behave nicely with people, so they behave nicely with you also. I don't know, I'm just giving the scenarios that I've come across. Okay, so here I see that your friends and everything is nice and hunky-dory, but whenever they talk about settling down with someone, they never talk about you. Or maybe even when it comes to commitment or dating someone, then also they don't talk about you. They are very happy to be with you, they're very happy to spend some time with you, they want to talk to you about their career and this and that. But whenever it comes to like that special feeling, they don't give that to you, and that probably hurts you, because it makes you feel very unworthy, or it makes you feel like, wow, so this person wants to have fun with me, they want to go out with me, they want to date me, or whatever, all those things, but they don't want to put me into that place where they want to show me around. Because what else is being in a relationship with someone, whether it's marriage or whether it's dating someone? And I'm talking about men and women both. So if you're watching this video right now, you could be a man, you could be a divine masculine or a divine feminine. One more thing I want to talk about today via this particular video is that there has always been a lot of confusion about divine masculine and divine feminine. And let me tell you, initially, when these words came into the marketplace, or you can say the community, the spiritual community, at that point in time, it was obviously used for gender only. It was not just an energy. It was like, okay, a man is called divine masculine and a woman is called divine feminine. And okay. We'll talk about it later. Thank you so much. So when the divine masculine then the divine masculine became sacred masculine, sacred feminine. Actually, the first terminology was sacred masculine and sacred feminine. Then it got shifted to divine masculine and divine feminine. So it was very gender specific. Divine masculine was for men and divine feminine was for women. Okay, so it was also seen that it was women, it was the feminine, the females who were doing inner work, and the masculines were mostly playing the role of the runner. Then time changed, things changed, and people saw that there was a change in the dynamic. Like some of the women were running and the men were chasing, or it was like the women were not ready to commit, or there was some kind of different kind of thing that was happening. The vibe had changed, and then there was a confusion about who is masculine and who is feminine. Then that happened, and then finally people now, I also feel it is much better to use runner chaser. I've been doing it since long time. And yes, I have also been one of those people who did talk about the energies. I did talk to a couple of people who were homosexuals also, and there was a divine masculine and a divine feminine even in that scenario. Obviously, one person plays the masculine role and other is feminine. So the whole point is that there are two people involved. Okay, now you could be a man who's in a twin flame journey, and as time passed by, more and more people started contacting me, and we started getting into readings and therapies. And then I found out that men are equally witnessing this situation. And then many times I checked the YouTube stats and I saw that the population of men was either increasing or it was equal. It varies, but I could see, there was a misconception that men don't want to do inner work, or men are not in this situation, men are not the chasers, and women blah blah blah. So there was these type of confusion. So while I'm talking today about this subject, I am addressing everyone. And yes, in the past also I have always mentioned in lots and lots of videos that this is not gender specific, which means that you could be facing this situation. You could be dating someone and that person wants to have fun with you, wants to have a good time with you. They talk very nicely to you, they make plans with you, they even share their dreams and desires. But when they talk about a life partner, they never bring you up in the discussion. In fact, they very clearly say that this is what I want in a person in front of you, on your face. But obviously they have never given you that, even that sort of a question, like, would you be interested, or would you want to be with me? Okay, so this is the second scenario. Now the third very interesting scenario is that you have dated a person, okay, and this is literally happening in today's scenario a lot. So you probably dated someone, okay, and there was this whole runner chaser dynamic, and running and chasing and fights and this and that, and the other person was with you. You had a very intense relationship, they wanted to marry you, but things happened, and family got involved, other people got involved, parents got involved, friends got involved, or whosoever, somebody got involved. Okay, and then this person said that because of so and so problem, because of XYZ ABCD blah blah blah, I don't think I can be with you, because my family is not allowing me, and my family is not accepting you, and this and that. So you were very heartbroken and you said, okay, fine, no problem. You be happy and go ahead with whatever your family says, or whosoever that person was close to. So you let that person go. Now a few years later, or maybe 2 years later, 3 years later, 5 years later, in some cases even 7, 8, 10 years later, the person comes back in the picture and they tell you that their relationship is not working out and they've gotten divorced, they've gotten separated. And you feel that, oh my god, you saw this coming, you realize that they will never be happy with that person, and you waited probably, or you did your inner work, but now this person is coming back and they're telling you about whatever they went through, but they are still not talking about you. And this is happening after they've had a huge discussion or debate, or there was so much that happened between you and that person regarding why they did not choose you, or why there was a problem in the first place. And now they've been with someone else and that did not work out, and now they're back to being single, and again back to talking to you, but not talking about what is the possibility between you both in the future. And this is very hurtful. Now in some cases this can happen even, if it's not a marriage situation, maybe they got engaged to someone and that did not work out, and then maybe they got into a relationship with someone which was a very public relationship, and they were like talking about it to everyone, and then it did not work out and they got very heartbroken. They spent like 2-3 years, then they came back to you, started talking to you. I mean, I also know of scenario where, and I can say this openly also here, I'm not shy or anything. In my case also, it happened that someone came back in my life after they went through a divorce, but when they came back, they very clearly told me that I wanted to marry you, and at that time you refused. And I honestly do not remember that, but I was like, yeah, maybe we had a conversation, but yeah, it was not right at that point in time. And then now this person comes back after it did not work out with another person, and they asked me again, so what is your scenario? And again there was some issue, and I was like, okay, this cannot work out. Even now it cannot work out, because see, in my case the priority is different. There's a mission and there is something to do with health and blah blah blah. So I was like, this really cannot work out. But we never had any anger or animosity. It was always very nice and very friendly and lovey-dovey also in some ways. And there was a confession also that the other person. So this is very kind of respectful, and this happens with the inner work also. It happens when you're very detached and you can love people without any conditions, and they can love you without any conditions, and you have a very important mission in your life, so that mission gives you stability. But in the other 3-4 cases that I mentioned, where you want to settle down with that person, you want to marry that person, or maybe you just want to hear from that person that how much they love you and what is the reason they did not choose you. Really, was it just family, or was it their own personal choice? It did not match. And let me also tell you, there are times when people can adjust, there are times when people can compromise, people can come up to a certain solution. But when the requirement or the priority is hugely different, like maybe the other person wants children or kids and you don't want that at all, so you don't want to disappoint the other person, you don't want to make them feel bad, you don't want to be like, what, I cannot really have a biological child, but it has got nothing to do with you. It is not your fault. It is simply not your fault. I want a biological child, or I want a family, a typical normal family. I want it because my parents want grandchildren and blah blah blah. Now there are these type of scenarios which are understandable, which are acceptable, where a difference is something that you can digest and you can swallow, and you also want the other people to be happy. You don't want 10 people to be sad just because you believe in something. So that is still okay. I know even that can be worked out, but then that's a different story altogether. And I don't know how many people would want to sacrifice certain things for that, because this twin flame ascension journey actually gets better and better the more you learn to sacrifice. Yes, it may sound to some people that why should I sacrifice, why should we, people who are in the twin flame community or inner work, people who are doing inner work, they always ask me this question, like they've asked me this question, why should we always sacrifice, why the other person cannot sacrifice? See, you have to understand, the other person cannot sacrifice because they don't think about sacrifice. They are a bit too materialistic. Okay, so coming to the question, the crux of this matter is why your twin flame wants to marry someone else over you. And let me also tell you, you could also be in the situation where you're dating someone, you're in a relationship with someone, you're okay to have them around, but when they get too serious, when they get too involved with you, you don't like that, because you could be into inner work, you could be mission oriented, as I said, but you also could be having completely different priorities. So when they come up to you and they tell you that, hey, I have this plan or I have that plan, and you say that, well, that is not my plan as of now, and they say, okay, fine, how long should I wait? Okay, maybe you, at that time you say, okay, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, and you drag it, you keep dragging it, drag the relationship till you can. Even you won't like that, isn't it? So some people actually do step out from it. Now I've given you both the scenarios, so you need to understand that many a times when people or your supposed twin flame, whosoever you think is your twin flame, does not want to marry you, they're happy with you, they don't want to marry you, and in front of you they talk about marriage, or they talk about relationships, or they talk about what type of person is the right type of person, what type of person fits the bill, and they don't discuss you, or they don't bring you into that conversation. I think it could be taken as something which is where you feel like you don't have to take it personally. Okay, because this journey is not a materialistic journey. This journey is not for people, in fact, who are very materialistic. This is a spiritual ascension journey, and in the ascension journey, sacrificing, accepting, adjusting, accommodating, even if for some people it's like, why should I do it? It sounds a bit difficult, but when you do it and you cross the bridge, when you're on the other side, you actually feel very nice. When you let go of something that doesn't feel good even for you, I mean, all those people who have probably rejected you, if you think about it, they did the right thing, because they didn't accept you the way you are, or they did not see your mission or see you as a complete person. They just saw the very worldly pieces of you, bits and pieces of you. And someone wrote a very nice comment just now: honor free will. So love is also about free will. Thank you so much for saying that. Love is also about free will. If you love somebody and they have very materialistic desires, and I can say this because I have met a lot of people, and I've been on the other side, on this side also, and on that side also. I've met a couple of people who were really nice, but their materialistic priorities were too high, and it did not fit into my system, my lifestyle, or my inner work, my mission. And I was like, this person is very nice, but I don't think so. Like, the reason why I don't give my example is because I'm a very extreme case. I just love to be by myself. I love to be alone. I genuinely love it. Like, there's no other way to explain it. So for me, it's very difficult to even imagine someone in the same house that I live in. I just like to be completely by myself and do things that I just want to do those things, and I don't like anyone around. Simply even if it's like, if it's a genuine thing, situation, family members doing something, it's okay. It's not like I'm very rigid. But to think that a person is going to share your space forever for the rest of your life is very difficult to digest. So this is happening because I'm a hermit and I've been doing inner work since I was very young. Practically, I was a baby. Since then, I've been doing inner work. Okay. So it's then understandable that certain people are like that. And I know a lot of people, even on this live session, people are very close to animal world, people are very close to nature. They have their own thing going on, they have their own solitude happening, and when they are ready and they want to contribute to the world, then automatically they attract those type of people. And this is also one thing I've seen, that when you're ready for something, you will find the right people who will become a part of your mission without you saying a word. And how long they'll be with you, what job they will do, what job you will do, everything is predestined. It's almost like God has decided everything. So when it comes to a relationship, whether it's you, whether it's me, whether it's anyone who is in an ascension journey, they have to be accommodating, because you also like it when you are doing your own things. I mean, of course, if you're in the initial stages of this journey, maybe it's the first temporary awakening, first cycle of temporary awakening, or you're still in testing and crisis, then I think it would be a bit difficult to digest all of the things that I'm saying to you right now. But if you have touched surrender, even if you've come down to runner chaser, that's okay. You can have multiple cycles also. But then you can understand, once you surrender, even for once, you have experienced the joy of being by yourself, the solitude, the lessons you learn, the inner work when you're literally blooming like a flower. If you have experienced that even for once, then you know that it's much better to let go what is not meant for you. There are so many things that are not meant for you. It's a peace that surpasses all inner standing. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Very well said. Thank you so much, Ayan. So, it's like she's giving me the right words. Thank you so much. Literally, I mean it. That is such a beautiful feeling, to be by yourself, to do what you love, to have your own routine, to have your own discipline, and to meet people who are equally contributing, who are equally serious. That is a very beautiful thing. When you meet such people, sometimes it can happen that you meet someone like that and they like you, as in romantically like you. They in some cases it happens, not always, they like you, but they are so smart, because they are also mission oriented. You are also mission oriented, they are also mission oriented. They will never bring it up, but you feel it, you can sense it, that they like you or you like them. I mean, it's very obvious. But each time you talk, each time you discuss something, it is always related to your mission, it's always related to your inner work, it's always related to doing something for someone else. And that's why probably you connect with that person, you click with that person, and you can never have this experience with a materialistic person. And yes, I can say this again by my personal experiences also, because when you're sitting with materialistic people, it's not like they're lower or they're inferior. Even they have their own role to play, but their priority is very different. If you tell them, for example, you meet a very sansaric person who's say very business minded or very money minded. It's not bad to be money minded or business minded. I mean, you can learn from them also in certain cases. But when you sit with them and they talk about what they want to do, the things they want to do. Like I was sitting with someone and talking to someone generally, and they said, you know what, I'm doing all of this because I want to retire before 45. I don't want to work after I turn 45. And I was like, but why would you do that? I mean, why do you want to retire so soon in life? Why wouldn't you want to work till you are alive? Why don't you want to be completely independent financially, but also have something to look forward to every day, something you do, and then generate resources that can help some other beautiful cause, some other mission? In fact, whenever I've spoken about mission work, or whenever I've spoken about inner work to people who are hardcore Sansarik, they've always said things like, oh yeah, it's a very noble cause. Or they've said things like, oh yeah, I also need to meditate. Yeah, you know what, I'm very anxious sometimes. I think I should also learn to meditate. I mean, they talk about these things as if it's coming from some another planet. Like, people who meditate or people who do inner work, they are not from this world, they are from some other world. So they talk like that. And as I said, it's not like I'm making fun of anyone. It's a reality, it's a fact. So if you are in a relationship with a materialistic person, it could be possible. Maybe now some of you have understood it. Maybe 5 years back you met someone, you fell in love with that person was a certain way at that point in time, and now 5 years later you have done so much inner work, you have changed a lot. In fact, they also feel it. They see you, they meet you, they talk to you, they're very nice to you, they sense the change in you, and they are like, oh, wow, you've changed so much, like I cannot believe that you're the same person. And you're like, yeah, I know I changed. But when you look at that person, they have not changed much. They're still the same, they're still talking the same thing. Maybe their appearance has changed, maybe their hair has become a bit more gray, or they've started looking a bit more older than what they looked when you met them. And you still look nice, you still look the same, literally, when it comes to looks also. Little bit, maybe you have started looking a bit different or a little bit more mature, but you still almost the same. So when you meet people after 2 years, 3 years, and it can happen even in 1 year's gap, or maybe you know them since childhood, maybe you've known them since you were a teenager, you were 15 or 16 when you met this person, and now you're in your 20s, 25 maybe. So 10 years have passed by, decade has passed by, and you feel that you have changed exponentially. And these people, whosoever, one, two, three, four, they are still talking about the same things. They've still so much work left to do, and you feel that like they can do so much better, they can be somewhere in life, but they cannot be. In some cases you have to accept that they cannot be, at least not right now. As you look at them and as you talk to them, you have to accept. If you feel that they're not going to shift, they're not going to change, 10 years have passed by, 5 years have passed by, and they still have the same desires, they're still running after the same things. And in some cases, maybe they've achieved those desires. Like when you were 15, that person would say, hey, you know what, by the time I'm 21, 22, I want to get this. And at any age group, I'm saying, say someone says by 35, I want to achieve this, I want to buy my own car and I want to buy my own house. Okay, fine, great. You meet them when they're 35, they've bought their own car or bought their own house, and you ask them, so wow, you've done what you wanted to do. Oh no, I just want to do one more, like one more this car I want to buy and one more house. So even if they are changing, it's only changing in the sense that materialistically, whatever they wanted to achieve, they want to achieve double of it. But it's still materialistic stuff, it's not anything esoteric or anything spiritual. So if your twin flame, whosoever it is you feel is your twin flame, I don't even use this label, to be honest, if they want to marry someone else, date someone else, be with someone else, and they don't look at you in that sense, they don't prioritize you, I think it's a very good thing for you, because it's not even rejection of you. It's like they cannot see their future with you. In plain, simple words, I'm saying this. They cannot see their future with you. They see you, I mean, they look at you, they see how great you are, they see how intelligent you are, how amazing you are, how interesting you are, and how much they enjoy talking to you, spending time with you. But it's a completely different world that you come from, and they cannot even afford to be around you. Trust me on that. Like energetically, they cannot. And let me also tell you one more thing. I know a lot of people who are doing really well in the materialistic world, like they're making a lot of money, their business is really good. I mean, they could be physically attractive also, all those things are there. But their spiritual growth or spiritual knowledge is very less. And they could be very well spoken, they could be very sweet to you, as I keep talking about Vinamrata, they could be very Vinamra person. Like Vinamrata, you can check, very humble. You'll never see them getting angry on you or on anyone else or getting upset. They've never blocked you, also. They've never said anything mean to you. I mean, they have literally the same emotion each time you talk to them or they talk to you. So you actually think that you might confuse that vinamrata or maybe that goodness which comes from programming. Actually, it could be because of business, it could be because they've probably come from parents who have had certain type of jobs where they've always been nice to people, or they just simply believe, yeah, let's just be nice to people. Maybe they possess those qualities, but spiritually they may not be as amazing as you are. And I'm again not making a negative comparison, but that's a fact. This is a reality. You are spiritually somewhere else. You are there and they are here. How do you expect that to work out? There's a big gap in between you and that person. So the best thing is, if you like to talk to them, talk to them. If you want to connect with them, connect with them. But you also need to think that this person is rejecting me, all right, but is this person right for me? I mean, you need to ask that question. You need to keep a hand on your heart, and you need to ask this question. Fine, this person is rejecting you, and fine, it's hurting you, and you're taking it personally also. You may be thinking that you're unworthy, or they make you feel unworthy. They make you feel like, you're not good enough for them, blah, blah, blah. But are they good enough for you? And your inner work and your priorities, which is what I said about me also. Like, if I meet someone, trust me, the only reason why I've not gotten married yet is because I've never felt like a person is still on that level. No matter how much they say they love me, even if they write tattoo my name on their hands, but I still have to ask that practical question, that are they going to do these A, B, C, D, E things? Because maybe right now they would say yes, but 2 years down the line, 3 years down the line, they may not. So you have to, I mean, if you want to get married to someone or you want to settle down with someone, then also you need to have that patience, and you need to have faith in God, that God probably has created someone nice for you somewhere, if this is not that person for you. But for the time being, maybe God has sent you this person or these people. Maybe it's more than one person you like, or you feel rejected from all of the places, or maybe you feel like none of the people are your type. It could not be a blatant rejection. It could also be a rejection that you feel by God. Like, you look at other people finding the right people, the right partners, and you be like, why is everyone finding the right person, but why am I not finding the right person? You can ask that question. So then it becomes you versus universe, you versus God. It's not about the people you meet. And in some interesting cases, it can also be like, people are nice to you, they're giving you flowers, they're proposing to you, they want to marry you, but maybe you like the attention, but you don't like it when they come too close to you. So it's okay from a distance, if they are nice to you, or if they're expressive or whatever, from a distance, it's okay. But when they start getting close to you, you don't like it. Now, if you start reading up all of the psychology books and things like that, some of the people might say that, what, you got some intimacy issue because of this or because of that. Maybe you got abused as a child. I'm telling you, in the world of inner work, it works very differently. The world of inner work and awakening is never the same as what they talk about in these places. You know why? Because people who have put in so much time and effort in their ascension, in their inner work, they will literally not date any Dom, Dick and Harry. It's a fact. It's a fact. And for that, you can only understand this if you have done that level of inner work. You would just not like to waste your time, even if it's with friends. Like, if someone says to me also, hey Sunamoon, you want to go out for a coffee, I can never say yes, because I'm like, why do you want to have coffee? Like, that's That's like 2-3 hours are going into this. I mean, if something happens spontaneously, like you're somewhere, you're waiting for somebody, something has happened, and you say like, okay, let's have a cup of coffee or let's have a juice or something, then it's okay. But literally stepping out just to have a coffee or just to have a drink, go to the bar, it doesn't make sense. Honestly, it doesn't make sense to me. I don't know about you guys. You guys can share your thoughts on this. See, because when someone tells me that, hey, let's go and plant some vegetables in the kitchen garden, or at my farm, I would be like, yeah. And then also it has to have a purpose. Like, why are you planting these veggies? Is it for selling purpose, or you are serving some people, or is it a hotel? Because I know people who are doing some business also with food. So I need to ask people, like, why are you doing this? What is this all about? If I go to that place, how am I contributing, or how are those people contributing in my life? Even when it comes to inner work, some people say, let's do this meditation, or let's do this, or let's do that. I have to ask myself, and I have to think, like, is it actually good for my inner work? Like, I know a lot of people who meditate, who sing, dance, chant, but I may not like to go to those places. I would not want to go to those places because what they are doing does not match with my inner work. My inner work is integrating with source. It's about contribution. It's about learning about love. It's about therapy, because I'm working with so many people. So I'm giving you my example so that you guys don't have to feel you're lonely in this. Okay, you don't have to feel you're all alone and you're the only strange person, abnormal person on this planet who doesn't like to go out on dates, who doesn't like to go to the bar, who doesn't like to go to watch movies, who doesn't like to have coffee with other people. I mean, I can go out for a walk. If someone tells me at 7 in the morning, let's go out for a walk, I would love to do that. I mean, there has to be some interesting reason. There has to be a health reason. There has to be a spiritual reason. There has to be, in general, you have a mission together. Maybe it's a volunteering job. Maybe it's a place where you're helping somebody, some children. Like, I connect with a lot of people who are doing some kind of roles, like they teach poor kids, or they are sitting with underprivileged children. Then you ask me to come and spend 3 hours, 4 hours with them. I can do that. I will do that. Especially if I don't have any other appointment, I will do that. Or like making content for this channel for people like you, because this is a community of very, sensitive people, empathetic people, good people, kind people who are trying to figure things out. If I have to make content for people like you, brilliant people like you, brilliant minds like you, I would be like, yes, I would definitely take out 1 hour, 2 hour, or whatever is required from my schedule. I would love to do that. I would love to work with these people. So everyone has to think like that. When you're doing inner work, you have to prioritize your time. You have to prioritize your life. And it is okay if you don't get along with everybody. It's okay. It's not necessary. It's not a race. It's not a competition that you have to win. It's absolutely fine. So someone doesn't want to marry you, date you, flaunt you, whatever, it's okay, because those are all very materialistic things. Are they really playing an important role in your ascension? Are they really helping you achieve something, in becoming your own best version? That can be done while you're talking to them. That can be done if a spontaneous meeting is arranged. Something happens, like, say this person lives in another country or another city, and they're coming down to your city for some work, and they say, okay, let's catch up, and you really like this person. You might say, yeah, okay, let's catch up, or I don't know, it totally depends on you. So I'm not saying don't have coffee. I'm not saying don't go out with a person, don't spend time with the person. But all I'm saying is that it has to make you happy and you have to feel content. And if by chance your plans don't work out with someone else, XYZ, should never feel bad. Because everybody is doing their own thing. Like, you're doing something and another person cannot be a part of that project or of that whole program, or maybe that in romantic cases, maybe a date or whatever you've planned, even a bigger thing. maybe a festival, or maybe a travel plan, maybe a trip, maybe you planned a trip and last moment they call you up and they tell you, hey, I cannot be a part of this, something has come up. It's okay. You go on your own, then you be yourself, because only when you do that thing that God has designed for you, you will find out that on the other side, when you cross over the bridge, on the other side there are so many wonderful things waiting for you, and they may be so much bigger and better than that person who doesn't want you, or the person who you like but you don't know what to do with this person because they just don't match with you vibrationally, physically. Even when you talk to each other, there is so much of conversation that is made up conversation. You know it. You want a person for whatever their looks or their talks or their maybe they're very good in business or whatever your thought pattern is. You feel that maybe you can have a family with that person, with this person. But when you start talking about certain topics and you don't feel the ease of communication, I mean, the conversation is not smooth, it's not natural, it's not organic. It's like you have to try so much, or you have to make some kind of effort. Then you should know that you're not natural with this person. It's not a real connection. With people who are real, you have a bond with somebody, whether it's a platonic or a non-platonic, you can talk for hours. Your jaws will hurt. You'll have so much to talk about. There'll be like n number of things. You won't know when time will fly. But when you're in an artificial setup, you talk for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you do some small talk, you do some chit chat. You'll both be like looking here and there, like, okay, you know what, let's talk about something else. You'll think about things. They'll always make you uncomfortable, and you'll probably also make them uncomfortable. So I guess that pretty much all of this covers flow like the water, flow like the river, flow like the river, flow like the river, become the... I cannot remember that line. Okay, flow like the river. Let's keep it till there only. Let me just read the comments if there's anything important. It's like we all are in our own dimensions while being in the samsara. Yes, that's true. It's like we have our own frequency. So we all operate on different frequencies. If there are 9.5 billion people or 8.5 billion or 7.5 billion people on this planet, then there are obviously that number of frequencies operating at the same time. And it's very interesting, like a few years back when I was actually pondering and wondering about frequencies, I was sitting in a car. It was a very profound experience because I was practically experiencing it. It was not like theory. So I felt that I was sitting in the car and I was in a frequency, like how you can bifurcate things sometimes, like in sacred geometry. And then I saw a person walking on the street. It was a flyover, and it was like a normal person. When I say normal, there are different normals actually. When I say normal, it means someone who comes from simple background, walking on the road, walking on the street, like maybe a laborer person. That person was walking, and I could actually see that they have their own frequency, like a wavelength sort of a thing, and they had 100 things happening in that frequency. In their own frequency, there is a universe. In my frequency, there is a universe. And the person sitting next to me who was driving the car, I could sense very strongly that this person is in a different frequency. So 3 different frequencies in the same physical location. And then there are so many. If you go to a mall, like there are 200 people, 300 people, it's crowded. And it's a very different energy in a mall. Like, I don't like to go to malls, to be honest. I don't like to go to crowded places. it's a bit overwhelming. But if there is something important that has to be done, some important task has to be done, it's unavoidable, then definitely I'll go. But I do remember going to a mall when it's a festival season, or going to a mall when it's a match, like a sports match, a cricket match. It's insane the number of people, who are there just randomly roaming here and there, and you actually think they're just out because of programming. They're here because of programming. And interestingly, both the times when I stepped out, it was because of my laptop actually. One day it was a festival, hardcore, with all the lights and all the people out there to shop and all buy stuff. There were these carnivals happening everywhere, it was like traffic and all. And the second day it was the World Cup match, and I was like, why did God choose me to be out on these 2 days only? So both the days something important was going on in my life, so I was like, okay, I have to fix it, I have to do it. But it was a completely unconscious thing, and I could see people with different frequencies, so many people, and yet there are clusters of frequency. So when we are doing this conversation, even though you guys are in some other places, different states, different physical location, different countries maybe also, but we are all in the same frequency, we are in the similar frequency, which is why we are doing this discussion, we're talking about this, and all those people are gonna watch it later on. So that person who you think is your twin flame, or the one you want very deeply, you desire that person, don't get upset if they don't understand you, or they don't accept you, or they don't show that excitement and eagerness to be around you. It's okay. I mean, that's fine. As a person who's doing inner work, you gotta be strong. You gotta accept everything that life has given to you. Everything is a gift of God, literally. And as I said, and I'll repeat myself, you can only figure this out when you accept it. When you accept it with both hands. Accept it joyfully, with gratitude. You cross over, you go to the other side of the bridge, you will feel the peace like you've never felt before. The only quote I remember about a river: flow like a river and you'll find your way, and you will find your way, resist and you'll only create obstacles. So I think it was flow like the river, glow like the moon, something like that. So flow like the river, glow like the moon. Yes, if you are not going to flow like the river, there will be a problem. You will get stuck somewhere. In fact, life should be like a flowing, like a moving river. You're always moving, flowing. And who are we? We are the speck of light, the same speck of light from which source is made. So source is this huge light, and we are a speck of that light, and our destination is going back to the source. So it's like, no matter how small the stream or the river is, its main priority is to go to the ocean. They all want to go to the ocean. They all want to merge into the ocean. Similarly, we as a soul, we all want to merge into source. That is our ultimate goal, and ultimately we are here to do that only, and we are naturally doing it. We are naturally gravitating towards it. I mean, those who understand what I'm saying. So yes, on this wonderful note, I will close this session. Thank you so much, all those people who are here, and all those people who have contributed to this video by commenting and by writing your thoughts. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I also appreciate all of you doing your inner work with so much conviction. It's a very enjoyable journey. Trust me, the only thing you have to do is you have to let go and let God. Then this whole twin flame journey will make sense to you. Before that, it may not. So surrender is the key. Once you surrender, you will get illumination, you will know how to harmonize, and you will be in union. And there will be multiple cycles of this. And as I said, it's always enjoyable on the other side. So thank you so much for subscribing. Anyone who's a new subscriber, thank you so much for being here. For personal sessions and for personal reading sessions, for therapies, please check out the description box, and you can write to me at thesunamoon@gmail.com. If you're an influencer or a famous person, then whatever is on the description box will not apply to you. You have to separately discuss it with me. So one love, peace out, and victory to Ram. Jai Jai Ram.